If you're a video editor, you understand that days, weeks, months spent behind the screen start to fuck with your mind.
The screen is driving us all insane.
So what are we supposed to do to stay spiritually sane while we're behind our computers? Well, I have discovered 6 secrets to staying sane behind the screen, and I'm going to share them with you here. You know the feeling after a long day of editing and you come out
bleary-eyed and not even sure where you are
because you've been staring into the screen all day. So I have discovered 6 ways to dissipate this digital haze while we're on the screen. This is not your typical digital wellness. Yes, getting outside, time away from the screen is paramount, but there's a million other videos that will tell you all about that. What this is approachable 6-step system to help you stay in greater connection with your craft. Now, who am I? I've spent a decade creating massive videos for huge artists and brands, Super Bowl ads, VMA-winning music videos, and everything in between. I have found that the actual solidity of my own self, my own spiritual health, is not predicated on how many views my work gets, but how I feel as I'm working. Through this, I've developed a system, 6 S's for screen success, how to stay spiritually sane behind the computer. Let's dive in. Our first 10 post. Show your soul. This is the hardest one, I promise. So the first step is actually asking ourselves, why are we doing what we're doing? How are we editing in a way that expresses ourselves in a deeper way than just moving the screen back and forth? You are the one who's molding and morphing the images and light that's passing by the screen. It is you who is expressing themselves to the viewer. You are the last outpost before it hits folks' eyes. It's integral to stay spiritually sane that you are actually expressing yourself, allowing yourself to be free in the flow and the expression of who you are. Each edit should speak to who you are. Sure, we know that if an editor's technique is evident on the screen, then in some way maybe the editor isn't doing their job that well because editing is theoretically supposed to be hidden. But in the digital world and the internet economy, editing is a flashbang procedure. Things can be wild, things can be new, you can do things in a new way. How you find your own niche, your own style, that is the excitement of modern video editing. Which brings us to our second S. Who are you serving? It's all well and good to allow yourself to express your deepest, infinite potentiality, your artistic merit, and all that good stuff, but we're often being hired by other people to make their stuff, and there's not always that much room to express yourself through the edit if it's not your thing. This brand or company is going to dictate the actual messaging and communicative force that you're placing into the universe. Does this align with your worldview? I remember a relatively dark period of my life. I was just unhappy and in a sort of rut. It was hot, it was midsummer, it was in New York City. It was during this massive eclipse, and everybody felt a little off kilter. And I was making a brand video for a cigarette company.
smoking.
My life as a whole just felt a little uneasy. Of course it did. I was spending my days trying to convince people to smoke cigarettes. Our third S is style, the vibe, aesthetic, beauty. It's all part of the package. Vibration is in each color, each keyframe, each title movement. Yeah, it's all well and good to use a bunch of AI templates and overlays and look like everybody else, but are you really doing something beautiful if you're just taking some stock clip and slamming it on top of your footage? Now, not every video needs to be hoity-toity, red camera, sharp, beautiful, pristine, sun rising over the mountains. It can be hacky, TikTok-y, whatever gets you going. But beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Make something that you feel is worthy of the world. Our fourth S for screen success is song. Music hits us at our chakras. Vibration is the core mechanism of all media. We all know what it's like to be looping through the same song for days and days and days on end, where that song becomes part of your own DNA. And if that's a great banger track that lifts you up, then how beautiful. I once edited an Adele special for NBC, and I got to spend all day listening to Adele music. And I would leave 30 Rock and I would feel lifted, excited, because it's pure, raw, beautiful music. The music becomes part of you. It's going to be hard to stay spiritually sane if you're listening to chaotic, crazy nonsense. If that track is something that eats at you, low vibe, low chakra bullshit, then you're going to feel that too. The vibration of that music, that's going to be the infusing factor in your consciousness. All the moving aspects of the screen, of our ears and our eyes, they all play into the experience we're having. How to stay spiritually sane is not just a psychological phenomenon. It's an all-bodied, all-sensorial experience. Our fifth S is stance, the body itself. Are you one of those editors who just slumps down? You got the tech neck going. Everybody's sitting in these slopey chairs all day long, losing the ingrained posture that man was designed for. Kundalini energy, which is the spiritual life force, flows up and down the spine, and the more ergonomically correct one is sitting or standing, the more that life force is going to be able to channel up and down you. Our body is integral to dissipating this digital haze. Stand up straight, and you'll feel, even as you work, that everything in life feels a little bit straighter and a little bit more sane. And this brings us to our last S, the final signpost in the 6 S's for screen success, and that is the sun. You see it shining here right on me. We spend so much of our lives in dark rooms and bunkers in which you don't even know what hour it is. I get it. The light from these screens is not going to nourish us. Set up your workspace so you can find natural light. Just looking at the sun will create in you a spiritual force far larger than a bunch of digital tips could ever get. We're all nature. We are all just being powered by that thing right there that you're seeing shine up on my face. So I hope you enjoyed these 6 S's to stay spiritually sane while behind the screen. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe below. And maybe check out this very different video I just made about the digital cut point. Ooh.